A 15-year-old girl just broke 3 world records in a single competition. 3. In one session. Against the best junior weightlifters on the planet. And she still did not win. The girl who beat her is her own teammate. When the coaches and officials in that arena watched what happened, they said something nobody expected from people who have spent their entire careers watching extraordinary athletes perform extraordinary things. We will get to that. But first, you need to understand just how impossible this story actually is. If this is your first time on Lift Icon, hit subscribe right now. By the end of this video, you will wish you had found this channel sooner. Let's go. 3 world records. Let that land. Not one record on a perfect day with everything going right. 3. Snatch, clean and jerk, total. Every single discipline in the sport, broken in one afternoon by a girl who is still in school, who cannot vote, who has not finished growing. The youth world record total she broke was 272 kilograms. It had stood since 2011, 14 years. Every young female weightlifter on the planet had been chasing that number for 14 years and nobody had reached it. Hu Wenxun did not just reach it. She beat it by 16 kilograms, 288 kilograms total. Not a small improvement, not a marginal gain. 16 kilograms, 3 world records. Let that land. Not one record on a perfect day with everything going right. 3. Snatch, clean and jerk, total. Every single discipline in the sport, broken in one afternoon by a girl who is still in school, who cannot vote, who has not finished growing. The youth world record total she broke was 272 kilograms. It had stood since 2011, 14 years. Every young female weightlifter on the planet had been chasing that number for 14 years and nobody had reached it. Hu Wenxun did not just reach it. She beat it by 16 kilograms, 288 kilograms total. Not a small improvement. Not a marginal gain. 16 kilograms. In weightlifting terms, that is not breaking a record, that is demolishing it. 288 kilograms. Say it one more time. 288 kilograms at 15 years old. Now think about what that number actually means in the real world. Emily Campbell, the British weightlifter who stood on the Olympic podium at the Paris 2024 Games and won a medal in front of the entire world, lifted 283 kilograms. That was enough for an Olympic medal. Hu Wenxun, a 15-year-old who is not old enough to compete at the Olympics yet, just lifted 5 kilograms more than that. Not just a youth world record. Not just the best junior performance in history. A total that would have put her on the Olympic podium at Paris 2024 if she had been allowed to compete. She was not allowed to compete. She is 15. By the time she was competing at youth level, the numbers she was putting up were drawing attention from people who had spent decades in the sport. But here is the thing about being a young Chinese weightlifter with extraordinary numbers. China produces more elite weightlifters than almost any other country on earth. The competition inside the national program alone is ferocious. Being the best girl in Chengdu means nothing if you cannot be the best girl in China. And in China, the best girl in Hu Wenxun's weight class had a name. Zhang Yuxin, her own teammate. A lifter who trained in the same system, ate the same meals, prepared for the same competitions. The person standing between Hu Wenxun and the top step of every podium she had ever stood on. Every national selector kept looking at Zhang Yuxin first. 2025, the year Hu Wenxun was supposed to announce herself to the world. She was 14 going into the season. The expectations inside the Chinese weightlifting program were enormous. The numbers in training suggested she was ready to compete with the best junior lifters on the planet. And then the pressure of translating training room performances into competition results started to show. Because here is what nobody talks about when they celebrate young prodigies. The weight of expectation on a child is not the same as the weight on a barbell. A barbell does not care how old you are. A barbell does not watch you. A barbell does not have an opinion about whether you are living up to your potential. A competition platform is different. Thousands of eyes, judges, cameras, coaches with clipboards watching every movement. Other nations watching to see if the Chinese girl is as good as the whispers suggest. Think about what that actually feels like. You are 14 years old. You wanted to lose weight when you were 8 and accidentally became one of the most gifted weightlifters your country has ever produced. And now the entire Chinese Weightlifting Federation is watching to see if you can deliver when it matters. And your biggest competition is the girl you train with every single day. Most kids that age find another way to deal with it. Most change something. Most start second-guessing the things that made them special in the first place. Hu Wenxun went back to the gym, back to the bar, Back to the thing she had been doing since she was 8 years old because she wanted to lose weight and found out she was built for something completely different. Drop it in the comments right now. When you heard that a 15-year-old Chinese girl was breaking world records that had stood since 2011, did you believe it was possible, or did you think the numbers had to be wrong? I want to know. Because what happened next in Ismailia shut every single person up. These athletes sacrificed everything for one number. The least you can do is hit subscribe so you never miss the next one. 2026 IWF World Junior Championships. Ismailia, Egypt. One of the most important junior competitions in the weightlifting calendar. The best young lifters from every country on the planet in one arena, competing for results that will define their careers before those careers have properly started. Hu Wenxun steps onto the platform. Snatch. She lifts 125 kilograms, new youth world record. Clean and jerk. She lifts 163 kilograms, new youth world record. Total, 288 kilograms, new youth world record. 288 kilograms. Let that land. 3 world records, 1 competition, 1 afternoon, by a 15-year-old girl from Chengdu who started lifting because she wanted to lose weight. The youth world record total of 272 kilograms had stood since 2011, 14 years. Hu Wenxun beat it by 16 kilograms in a single session. No record in the history of youth weightlifting in her weight class had ever been broken by that margin. Not even close. Do the math. She did not nudge the record forward the way records usually move. By half a kilogram, by 1 kilogram, by the smallest measurable improvement that proves progress is happening. She destroyed it. She picked up 14 years of accumulated achievement by every young female weightlifter on the planet and moved it 16 kilograms further away from everyone chasing her. And then Zhang Yuxin, her teammate, lifted more. Her total was higher. And Hu Wenxun, the girl who had just broken 3 world records, stood on the second step of the podium. Silver medal, 3 world records, still not first. Say it one more time, 288 kilograms, 3 world records, silver medal. The coaches who watched it happen, the officials who have spent their careers at competitions like this one, said they had never seen a junior performance at this level. Not just in this weight class, in any weight class, at any junior competition. The combination of the margin by which the records were broken and the age of the athlete made it something they had no framework to compare to. A 15-year-old girl from Chengdu who started lifting to lose weight just rewrote the history of her sport and walked away with silver. After the competition, someone asked Hu Wenxun what she was thinking when she realized she had broken the world record 3 times in one session. She said she was not thinking about the records. She was thinking about her next lift. Not the history. Not the 14 years the record had stood. Not the crowd reacting or the coaches scrambling to confirm the numbers. The next lift. That is where her mind was. That is the whole person right there. That is the 8-year-old who walked into a gym in Chengdu because she wanted to lose weight and found out that her body had been built for something the world had not seen yet. That is the girl who trains every day alongside the teammate who keeps finishing above her and comes back the next day anyway. That is the 15-year-old who broke 3 world records and walked away thinking about what she lifts next, not what she just lifted. When asked about Zhang Yuxin beating her despite the world records, she said simply that she needs to keep working. Not bitterness, not excuses. Keep working. Every coach who looked at Zhang Yuxin first is watching 288 kilograms right now. Hu Wenxun is 15 years old. She is eligible for youth competitions until the end of 2027. She has 2 more years competing as a youth athlete while she continues to develop physically. Elite female weightlifters typically peak in their early to mid-20s. She is a decade away from her prime. Los Angeles 2028 is 2 years away. Hu Wenxun will be 17, eligible to compete at the Olympic Games. A girl who is already lifting Olympic medal totals at 15 could be standing on an Olympic platform at 17 before she has finished her physical development. The women's 76-kilogram world record total is 294 kilograms. Hu Wenxun just lifted 288 as a 15-year-old in a junior competition, 6 kilograms away from the senior world record at 15, with years of development still ahead of her. The world record is 294 kilograms. It has stood since 2023. Nobody has come within 4 kilograms of it since. Do the math. She started lifting because she wanted to lose weight. She is going to end up carrying the entire sport. So here's what I want you to tell me in the comments. Los Angeles 2028. Hu Wenxun is 17 years old, competing at her first Olympic Games, the youngest weightlifter on that platform. Does she win gold, break the senior world record, and become the most important name in women's weightlifting before she is old enough to vote? Drop it below. Every single comment gets read. And if you want the full breakdown of what Hu Wenxun does next and whether Zhang Yuxin can hold her off for 2 more years, subscribe, because that video is coming very soon. And here is where I want to stop for a second and talk to you directly. Because I have been covering athletes on this channel since we started. I have told you about Olivia Reeves winning Olympic gold on her debut. I have told you about Carlos Nazar breaking world records 2 weeks after burying his coach. And nothing has made me stop mid-research and just sit with the numbers the way Hu Wenxun's story did. 288 kilograms at 15. Started lifting to lose weight. I genuinely do not know what the ceiling is here. And that is not something I say lightly. Every athlete we cover has a trajectory you can map. You can look at the progression, the age curve, the competition history, and make a reasonable guess about where they end up. With Hu Wenxun, I cannot do that. The numbers do not give me a ceiling to point to, and I think you feel that too, which is why you are still watching right now. So before we get into what comes next for her, tell me something in the comments. What was the moment in this video that genuinely stopped you? Was it the 288 kilograms? Was it the fact that she still lost? Or was it the 8-year-old girl who just wanted to lose weight? Because for me, it was that last one. Every single time.